blasting Tupac on his stereo. He knocked over a trash can as he parked. His aunt's boyfriend, Anthony, confronted him about it, and a fight erupted. As the larger man, Anthony quickly gained the upper hand and proceeded to keep beating on DeAndre. DeAndre then ran into the house and grabbed a steak knife from the kitchen. He issued a warning. Undeterred, Anthony rushed DeAndre, who then stabbed him once in the chest. Anthony wound up dying in DeAndre's arms. DeAndre was
YouTube, Town family, what's the biz? Y'all already know what it is, man. Positive vibes always, all days. You know how I'm rocking. And it ain't nothing to it but to do it, so we about to jump right into it. I hope everybody feeling well out there today. As always, I want to send out that positive energy to my Todd-Town family. And I do appreciate everybody for tuning in, always. And if you haven't already, hit that like, share, subscribe, and notification button so you can stay up to date with the latest and the greatest content. Because you don't want to miss, man. We doing drops daily, okay? We're going to be doing them daily drops for y'all. And again, man, I hope everybody doing well, feeling well, looking well. Always the positive vibes. We got another good one today, okay? And without further ado, anywho, welcome to Todd-Town.
In this episode, I'll be discussing the life of DeAndre Bonds. DeAndre Bonds was born on March 19th, 1976, in Inglewood, California. He grew up on the east side of South Central. His house was on 80th and Avalon, which is Swan territory, a notorious blood gang with among the fiercest reputations in LA. His childhood home was in the midst of a battlefield due to the fact that the Swans beefed with almost every gang around them. Early on, his father was absent as he battled an alcohol addiction, and his mother was addicted to crack. He had 7 siblings. His mother had 8 kids with 6 different men. DeAndre had to grow up fast. He bounced from different areas from the east side to the Hoovers, down to Compton, and back to the Swans. DeAndre was filled with anger and resentment.
Woo.
He had a temper. In 6th grade, he was kicked out of school for fighting, but somehow he avoided the gangs that prowled his neighborhood looking for new recruits. DeAndre had his own hustle. He sold candy. He'd take the bus to Hollywood and buy $20 worth of product at the 99-cent.
Hey, time out. Hey, cause anybody that know me, anybody that know, that's funny. That was like one of my early hustles. And yeah, that was one of my early hustles, believe it or not. So if you know me back from, high school, yeah, man, I made a killing. I actually got put on probation. Believe it or not, for selling candy. That was the first hustle I had. I was selling candy. I was, I started small. I started going to Walmart and I was buying like little bags of candy and stuff like that. Cause I just seen, like I said, I always tapped in to see, the need. That's the need isn't, the supply, and early on I was like, man, these kids like candy. I did too. So I'm like, shoot, I'm one of them. And that's easy. So I started selling. I started small, and then next thing you know, I was telling Pops to take me to Costco. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, man, I need to go to Costco. He was like, Costco? I was like, yeah. And he took me to Costco, and it was a wrap, bro. I started buying the candies by the bulk. I started buying candy by the bulk, bro. I was buying listen, I had all types of candy. I had to, listen, you name it, okay? If you know me, you know what I'm saying? If you watching, you know me, you could vouch for that. You know what I'm saying? That was one of my early hustles, though. And I was just to tap you into the game, you know what I'm saying? I was spending about like, I want to say between like 30 to 40 bucks, maybe 50. I was spending between, I'll say 30 to 50 bucks on average, just depending, right? But I was making like $100 to $200 a week. I was making like $100 to $200 a week. I was selling more than that, shoot. But it was a killing. It was a killing. So it's kind of funny to hear that, because that was how that's how I started early on, hustling, selling candy.
store and walk up and down Sunset Boulevard. Sometimes he would earn more than $100 on the afternoon. During the course of him selling candy, DeAndre was able to meet a range of celebrities, from Martin Lawrence, Tupac, Scarface, and Ice Cube. While selling candy, DeAndre met his agent. At 13, DeAndre got a part in a school play. This would turn out to be life-changing for him. He loved the praise and attention he received. He always wanted to be an actor, but this really lit the fire. The emotions he felt, the anger, had now worked in his favor. He went on to book Tales from the Hood, which would be his first movie. He then booked parts in Sunset Park.
Listen, a lot of, and I know, I don't know the age range from my viewers, but you know, if you in my range or not, like I know a lot of my range, y'all gonna know a lot of these tales. I don't know which movies, because I can name every movie that this man played in. So, you know, just when I seen the clip, the title, I was like, oh yeah, I want to see what they talking about. But this man has been in some classics that's been, you know, still being played to this day. Excuse me. Y'all probably only know of what is it, Snowfall? I think recently. So the newer generation, like the gens, y'all probably only know him or seen him from Snowfall recently. And I'm pretty sure he got some other projects going on too, but I want to say Snowfall if I'm not mistaken. I was watching that hard, but yeah.
Get on the Bus, Three Strikes,
but classics.
And The Wood is arguably his most recognized movie role as he played the character.
Come on, man.
Stacey.
Listen. Boy. Come on. The Wood. Y'all know. Like I said, classics. This man has been in some classics, okay? The Wood.
In the movie, he's the older brother of Alicia and a gang member from Neighborhood Pyro, which is a Black American gang out of Inglewood, California. As the roles and the checks kept coming, DeAndre got cocky and started feeling himself. At the peak of his career, DeAndre was living reckless, blowing money fast. He partied and drank heavily. He was moving dangerous. After one incident, he pled guilty to battery and received probation. In 1999, he would land a role in the movie Lockdown.
Hey,
a
boy.
few months before shooting, DeAndre would fall victim to gang violence. One afternoon while in front of his own.
That movie right there, I'm going to say, like, if you haven't seen it already, it's definitely not a movie for everybody, okay? And I probably was too young when I watched it to believe it, to be honest. But that movie Lockdown, man, it'll probably scar or have scarred a lot of y'all if you did watch it. I mean, just the opening scenes from that movie was crazy, you know what I'm saying? But it's another good tale. I mean, just telling another story, but man, that's a
house.
That's a mad film right
up on
there.
DeAndre and began flashing gang signs. They then drove off. A few moments later, they returned. They hopped out of the car and chased DeAndre down while firing from their pistols. DeAndre was shot 3 times, twice in the leg. Another bullet went through his thigh and got stuck in his ass. DeAndre survived his execution and walked out of the hospital the same day. At this point, DeAndre said he was feeling like a straight thug. He compares to feeling like Tupac after he got hit. He even arrived to the Lockdown set on crutches. The limp was written into his character. Many consider Lockdown his most well-rounded role, where DeAndre plays a man wrongfully imprisoned for murder. Shot at the New Mexico State Prison where an infamous riot left at least 33 inmates dead. Lockdown left DeAndre drained. He balked at filming a scene where his character was sexually assaulted by his cellmate. He did one take, then went into the other room and cried, feeling he had sold out. But DeAndre...
You did. That was traumatic for everybody. You played that scene, and it was traumatic to watch it. I remember when I was watching it, I was like, dang, bro, I couldn't determine the difference between... I remember at that time thinking like, okay, this is acting, right? Like, why would you play that? Why would you play that? So yeah, I thought that I would shoot at that age. I thought that was crazy, but it was traumatic. Traumatic. God, man, I don't know. I'm a man of like vibrations and spirits and everything like that. So I wouldn't even recommend watching the movie just cause. You know, when I watched it, it was a time, you know what I mean? My environment was a whole lot different. it's a good film. I mean, I was from, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Bounced back, and he kept booking roles. DeAndre was in the mood to celebrate when he arrived at his aunt's house on September 5th, 2001. A few weeks earlier, he had booked a supporting role in Denzel Washington's Antoine Fisher. He was still riding high when he pulled into his aunt's driveway, blasting Tupac on his stereo. He knocked over a trash can as he parked. His aunt's boyfriend, Anthony, confronted him about it, and a fight erupted. As the larger man, Anthony quickly gained the upper hand and proceeded to keep beating on DeAndre. DeAndre then ran into the house and grabbed a steak knife from the kitchen. He issued a warning. Undeterred, Anthony rushed DeAndre, who then stabbed him once in the chest. Anthony wound up dying in DeAndre's arms. DeAndre was ultimately convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 11 years in prison. DeAndre served his time at the Iron State Prison in Blythe, California. He would get recognized, and his fellow inmates would frequently challenge him. He would even get pressed for his on-screen roles of him banging certain hoods. But DeAndre rose to the occasion when he was tested and programmed hard to survive that element. He witnessed a lot of people die, and he had his jaw broken at one point. Over the years, the trauma and stress left permanent scars. DeAndre was released on March 29th of 2011. It took time for him to readjust to society. For the first year, he couldn't be around people. Prison life was slow. Everything was moving too fast on the outside for him. After his release, DeAndre resumed acting. In 2012, he starred in the police drama film Gangsta Squad. A few years after regaining his career, DeAndre met another incident in 2015. He was rushed to the hospital after suffering injuries on his face and body. Unknown gang members reportedly attacked DeAndre in LA and left him unconscious. DeAndre survived the attack and was able to nurse himself back to health. DeAndre had to do another year of time after he was caught with a knife while walking down the street, which he was using for protection from his enemies. After he was released, he continued rebuilding his public image and eventually landed a role as Scully in the series Snowfall.
Okay.
Scully.
So I was right, Snowfall. And it's hard. It's hard. We enjoy that. We enjoy watching that. He killed that. He killed just about everything he played. And I mean, honestly, when you look at the roles that he played and you look at his life, you will see why. I mean, you understand why. I think he connects with the deeper, a deeper image from the inside to the outside when he's playing these roles because of what he's been through. I mean, and that's experience a lot of time. That's why they say life experience helps in, different ways, just like that for him. Damn, bro, I didn't know a lot of that. I didn't even know about the killing of the, that's crazy. And it just seems like he, even though he's going through these obstacles, he's still finding ways to maintain and bounce back. But then it's like, that this is, let me see it. Let's see what they're talking about.
The Crenshaw Mafia Bloods in Inglewood, as the show frequently showed him in what was portrayed as the Bottoms, the infamous apartments that are CMB's Ground Zero. But the filming location for the Bottoms was actually an apartment complex on 2625 Pasadena Ave in Lincoln Heights. In the show, Scully achieved notoriety for being unhinged. He was widely feared and for good reason. Though he was still referred to as the blood whose screws were loose, the narrative began to shift. As the show progressed, Scully revealed that there were layers to him, and he ended up being one of the show's most redeemable characters. DeAndre Bonds deserves his accolades for his versatility on screen, with authentic and humanizing portrayals of black men in inner city landscapes, as well as being a great representation of Los Angeles.
Another classic.
I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to
like I say, bro, that's man. And again, he's found a way to maintain. That's why I salute that. Even through your trials and tribulations, there's somebody out there praying for you. Them ancestors, your mother, your grandmother, somebody out there looking out for you because you finding ways. And Snowfall was dope. You know what I'm saying? Snowfall was absolutely amazing. He played that role, and like I said, just like every other role in the past, for the younger generation, man, y'all, like I said, I'm not recommending nothing just because I know the vibrations that a lot of these films come from, and I just move a little bit differently now. But you know, you do as you please. That's up to you. You know, you want to do your research on that, then that's up to you. But like I said, he's been a classic a film, you know, you know, maker for some time. And I mean, just hearing his story and just seeing how he's been through a lot. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you know, just I always say this because I compare it to me, just kind of just like what I've been through up until this point. And sometimes I feel like those are the best people in a way. And I'm not saying it in a sense of like, oh, they're better than, but I mean, as far as like when it's something that they want, you know, and if you've been given a chance, you'll it's almost like you're working 10 times to 100 times harder than the average person, because the average person ain't got no weight on their shoulders. They're not, you know what I'm saying, they ain't got the stories that you got to tell. So when you in that position, anything you trying to go for, you almost actually put 10 times to 100 times the power behind it. And it's funny because it shows that everybody can do that. You don't got to go through things to implement that, right? Like anybody can do that. And the ones that do it is ultimately successful. But I feel like the ones that come from somewhere, from some stories to tell, it's always the better ending stories a lot of times, right? I'm living proof. You know what I mean? I'm still working. But I've also been through a lot, you know what I mean? And I don't blame nobody for my troubles and things like that, but I learned, you know what I mean? So again, man, that was a great one, man. I mean, DeAndre Bonds, like I said, you know, for the younger generation, if y'all want, go check him out. And for the ones that know about him, you know what's up, you know what I mean? Another great one. Anywho, man, as always, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in to Todd-Town, another one. You know what I'm saying? I want to give everybody thanks. Give my team a thanks, you know, everybody that's helping out, you know what I mean, production, you know what I mean, you know the spiel, man. Like I say, I'm so grateful. I am grateful to be in my position. I'm grateful to be here, and I want everybody to be on the same tune, you know what I'm saying? So understand, life ain't hard. You know, we just have certain occasions that are challenging, and I want everybody to understand that, you know. So again, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Another one, Todd-Town. And you already know, like I said, we're going to be doing these daily drops, okay? And again, it's always fun. It's always a good one. And until next time, I'm checking out. Peace. Yeah. Whoa.